Hey everybody, it's Kenny Cummins here, chilling with Jeff and Kenny C, and I'm happy to be joined with my guest at this time, singer-songwriter all the way from the Peach State of Georgia. She has released her EP entitled A Woman Like That, and joining me to talk about that and much more, Miss Lindsay Beth Harper. How's it going?
It's going good. How about you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for doing this interview. You just finished a show, we just moments ago, so we couldn't do it on the live show, but we doing this pre-recorded. But thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I got held over with the football game and everything, so
Yeah.
figured it'd be better just to wait instead of trying to
Yeah.
rush and do it. So thanks for letting me wait.
It's all good. Things happen. I've dealt with artists and, the venue owner or whatever the case may be had to change things a bit, had to make certain changes. So I get it. So it's all good. First and foremost, congratulations on the EP release, A Woman Like That.
Thank you.
It is available on all digital music platforms. And true story, I think I played the entire EP on the show.
You did?
I did. I was planning on playing 2 or 3 songs, but I ended up playing the whole thing.
Really?
So,
Well, that's awesome.
It's not usually I play 2 to 3 songs, but considering that your song was an EP and I still had some free time, I said I'm just gonna play the whole thing.
Okay.
So
Cool.
So I enjoyed it. Nice record. And we're gonna
Thank
get
you.
and we're gonna get to that in a matter of moments. But first, how did you get started into music?
Well, it's been a long road. I guess when I was 5, my parents were trying to figure out what I was good at. And my dad had always done music. He'd opened for Travis Tritt and people in various bands that he'd been in. And my grandpa, my mom's dad, had always loved music as well, and it's always ran in the family. But I was very young, and my parents were trying to figure out, does she like sports? Does she like creative things? They put me in dance for a year, and then they realized that I liked music, and I liked trying to sing at least as well. So the next year they put me in singing lessons, which I did not enjoy very much. I've never enjoyed singing lessons, but it did get me opportunities to be able to perform. And I've done it ever since. I loved it, and it didn't freak me out. I just liked it, and yeah, I've done it ever since.
So you saying you really didn't like the whole singing lessons part?
No.
What was it in particular that made you not like singing lessons that much?
I guess I've always kind of been a person, which it's gotten better over the years, but I take things to heart. And I think back then, I didn't know that. I was like, oh, singing's personal to me. It's not something I want people to hear. And having it be one person and having them judge me, it kind of made me uncomfortable. But then once I got in front of a crowd and got that kind of reaction, it made me like it. But growing up, it seemed like I never had the right kind of vocal coaches, classical ones or something. And it was just a different type of training. And I never never liked it. But it's just me. They're great for certain people, just not for me.
I got you. The whole being in stage, performing in front of a crowd, small or big, it could be very challenging for people. Just getting that stage fright, it takes time to, you got to go in there and have confidence. And anyone, whether you're an artist or you're doing Broadway or any form of entertainer that performs in front of a crowd, I give props to those people. It takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there, and
Right.
It's it's not for everybody. You gotta have
Right.
you gotta have the courage to do that. So I give all the entertainers, the artists, ballerinas, etc. Give y'all credit for that. Um, so let's go and get into this EP.
Okay.
A woman like that is the name of the EP. Talk about the recording process and what made you decide to name it A Woman Like That.
Okay. This is a story I tell a lot at my shows, but basically I was going through a breakup this time last year, and I met a guy who I kind of started seeing on and off again, and he was playing guitar with me, and he said, "You should come to the studio I work at." And I said, "Okay." And finally I did in like January, and I really liked what this guy was doing. His name was Jimmy Smith, the producer. And I had talked to him years ago and just didn't really pay it any mind, because back then I was thinking, you got to go to Nashville if you want a good recording, because I had worked down here before, and although the recordings were great, for some reason in my mind I was thinking you got to go to Nashville because everybody says you got to go to Nashville. So I blocked him out of my mind, and then all of a sudden he comes back into my life because of this guy I was dating. So we start recording demos because we're thinking, we just want a demo. But we really liked what was going on, and so I decided I wanted to do an album, but I didn't know how I was going to fund it yet. So then through some friends that I had made through this guy, I started figuring out a way to run a Kickstarter to fund the album. And then me and that guy broke up, and I needed a fifth song for the album, so I wrote one. And it was about that whole situation. And basically, this guy was not comfortable with my confidence. And it just kind of it was funny because I was actually going through a moment in my life where I was really insecure, and I wasn't going through a good time. I was just not feeling good about myself. And for him to say that, it kind of tore me apart, but it also made me stronger, because it made me realize how how confident I really am, but I feel like I'm not. I don't know. I really do have more to offer than I thought that I did. And then we ran the Kickstarter and we funded it, and we recorded all the songs. And I can't believe that we actually funded the album. But I got to thank my friend Summer for teaching me how to do that. She's in a band called the Royal Turns, and they funded their album last year through that, and she taught me how to do that. So it's cool.
That's very amazing when, fans can get involved and make that EP possible with the funding. And I've heard of people going that route, and there's perks for those that's able to purchase a certain amount. I'm glad things worked out for you and your fans stepped up, and this EP came to be.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
So, A Woman Like That, name of the EP. It's available on all digital music platforms. And she's going to have copies of the EP. She's going to be in all over areas in Georgia and other southern states in the holiday season. And you just did your first show of December. So what's it like just going out there, going to these different cities, different venues, and seeing different faces, familiar faces, and getting your music out there? People like to stay in one city and that's it, but people like you and the fan base that you have had, and you've been able to perform in other southern states, what's it like just going different shows, different venues?
I mean, you get a little bit of everything. I get ones where I'm just background music. I get ones where I'm more featured. I get ones where nobody's listening, ones where everybody's listening. And so I get a little bit of everything. But it's been really cool this year. Sometimes I think no one's listening, and I'll get a random fan that sticks around for years to come. And I don't know, it's just really cool. This year I got to go to Indiana to do a Jeep rally, family reunion, and that was for the Kickstarter. So I met this family in Blue Ridge, just playing at a place I would normally play, that normally I'm just background music. and they were listening, and they donated like top tier, and they wanted me to come out to Indiana in July to play a show for them, and I got to, and it was just really cool. It was in the middle of nowhere, but it was so cool because we got to kind of explore all of Indiana. We went into Indianapolis, and then we went out to their show, and then we went down to like Holiday World, and we just made it a huge adventure. And it was just cool to know that they liked me enough to have me come out there. So that was really exciting for me.
You definitely had a chance to do some traveling this year. You even came to my neck of the woods in Kentucky.
I did.
You came to Lexington at a place called, I think he's also at Shelbyville as well. I know both of those cities have talent wineries, but unfortunately at the time, your voice just gave up, and you was unable to perform, but you had some backup, which was pretty good. Hopefully you'll come back to Kentucky next year, and I want to, seeing that I am going to Georgia for the holiday season, I don't know how far Augusta is from some of the places you plan to go into, but if I do have some free time, I may have to tell my parents, hey, I'm going to have to go see Lindsay, Beth, Harper in one of these shows, but we'll see.
Definitely. I don't know how long you're staying. I know that probably some of the ones, and I got one over in like Toccoa. It's closer to the South Carolina line, so maybe that one's closer to Augusta. I would think it would be. So maybe then.
So, where can people check out your shows, your website, or social media feeds? Where can people go for more info about you?
I put all of my shows on Bands in Town, but that's also connected to my website, lindsaybethharper.com. It's Lindsay with an A. So Bands in Town, and that on my website, the app on there, that's where you're going to definitely find all of my shows. But I do post a lot on Instagram and Facebook when it comes to like updating everybody on life events and shows and stuff. So definitely all those things. And it's at Lindsay Beth Harper on Instagram and / or at Lindsay Beth Harper on Facebook.
I've seen the Facebook posts. Got some entertaining posts on there.
Thanks.
So that's pretty cool. So back to the EP, A Woman Like That. From people's reaction to it, what are some of the fan favorites from the reaction that you began? What have been considered fan favorites off the EP from what people are telling you?
A lot of people like Living Reflection, and I'm not sure if it's just the production of it or if it's the story behind it. That was one that I wrote about the first guy that I really fell in love with, kind of the first boyfriend I really ever had. And he was still dealing with someone who had passed away that he'd been in love with, and I felt like I was trying to compete with that, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do because I felt like he couldn't fully love me because of her. And it, of course, didn't work out, and we knew we were better apart, that we had our own things we needed to work on. But I think that the production on that one, I think that, like, the vocals and everything that we did with that one ended up being, in my mind, my best work. But I get every single person I talk to likes something different. A lot of the people that I know that are in the music industry, they like Another Way because it's about Nashville and it's about trying to figure out a way to make it that's not maybe just like everybody else is doing, because it seems like the industry is getting clogged with people trying to do the same exact thing. And then I get people that like the sassiness of A Woman Like That and the broodiness of Wash in the Blood. And then you got Hard Luck Limousine tagged on the end about how life is just kind of not great sometimes, but we try to make it look that way. So I don't know. I get a little bit of everything across the board, which makes me happy that different people like different things, because that's kind of what I wanted.
I am starting to like A Woman Like the title track because, the sassy part, I think I like that for that reason alone. The EP everything else about it is pretty good. Different moods, and everything, different vibes. It's an incredible record that you was able to put together. So a woman like that, available on all digital platforms. Go support this lovely lady. She's cool. She's talented. She loves what she do. She's very, she got this southern accent going on. So go support this lady. Now, people like to categorize people in music. Do you consider yourself a country artist or Americana artist or blend of both? How would you describe the type of music that you do?
I've struggled with this for a while, but I guess, call myself more like alternative country, Americana, but at times I'm multi-genre, so I guess just like alternative country would be the main thing, or Americana. Whatever, people want to say nowadays. Genres have changed so much. They don't even make as much sense anymore. They're all different things. So I would say that, I guess.
I guess it feels like because of the fact that people don't stick to just one genre anymore. They just try to blend two together and make it their own. I feel like it's been that way probably since the 90s, 2000s maybe, and it's a trend that's just going to keep on going. Whatever makes people comfortable and what they've been able to do, I say more power to you. I guess it's a good thing, challenging people, trying to make things work. And I think I've grown to like it as times have progressed. So it's that I feel like that's what genre. That's usually for like people with one type of music that they prefer, but now it's become multi-genre. We're going from genre to multi-genres. So I guess that's what I feel as a music listener per se. So Lindsay, it was great chatting with you. You've had a very busy day, obviously, did the show, and you're talking to little old me, and I want to thank you for being on the show this evening. You got a busy month ahead, so enjoy the rest of your holidays, and hopefully our paths will cross in the holidays. If not, I'll keep an eye on a future Kentucky show in 2019 for sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure talking to you, and thanks for just talking about my shows and stuff. That's cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. And that is going to conclude the interview. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Chilling with Jeff and Kenny C is on Saturdays from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern on tmvcafe.com and the TuneIn app. Search TMV Cafe for Lindsay, Beth, Harper. I am Kenny Cummings signing out. You all enjoy your holiday season.